Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today is yet another upload, and as you can see by the title, it is story time. This one is quite heavy because, as it is saying, I left home at the age of 18 and I'm not planning on turning back. And I'm literally serious about that. I'm not kidding. I'm really not turning back. And let me just stop saying and. By the way, today I decided let me use a different lighting because I don't like how this one, the usual one, looks. So I hope you guys like it too. Because you see how this one is? I'm always in this lighting. So I just thought let me just try a different one. Yeah, I hope you guys don't mind it. Or should it be this, like the natural one? Should it be the natural one, like this? I don't know. Okay, now I think I should leave it as it is. But anyways, so yeah, let's get into that story. So if you've watched my previous video that I've uploaded, which is titled "Have you ever liked your cousin but didn't like their parent," which is my aunt, I state in that story that we moved with my dad after my mom passed away. So I think at that age, I was turning 9. So I was 8 turning 9, I think. By the way, if you hear any background noises, there are people fixing things here and building and everything. So yeah, we moved in with my dad, and before we lived with my dad, I used to always wonder when he'd visit us, because most they were divorced, and they had an agreement of when to fetch us and whatnot. So when my dad would fetch us, bro, every time me and my sister would come back with bags of sweets, clothes, and money, And me and my sister would always wonder, why isn't this girl marrying this guy? He is everything. He's a sweetheart. Why are they divorced? Because, as I said, when I was conscious, they were divorced. By the time I grew up, because to me, it was just me, my sister, and my mom. And then dad, yes, I know he's around. He comes to visit, but he wasn't present. So when we lived with him, I had this thing about he was way more well off than my mother in terms of salary, I guess, and the type of job. So my mom didn't have a car. We would use public transport, and my dad had a car. So life was way better when we lived with my dad, and it was more well off, I guess. Already before we moved in with my dad would spoil us every time he'd fetch us. But now that I'm older, I realized that it wasn't consistent. He would come maybe every weekend, the weekends in a year, for example, he would come maybe for 2 weekends in a row, then he skips, then he comes after 2 months, and then he skips, then he comes after maybe a few months, So, but the point is, we knew our father, So yeah, I came. When we lived with him, we actually were spoiled, and I think I think my dad was just trying to cover that thing of losing my mom as well. He was just trying to, I guess, make us feel better and try and forget, So for the longest time, we were spoiled, and I was thinking to myself, my mom, why would he divorce this, bro? But and then when my dad would be angry, dog, it was abusive as hell. So, and verbally and physically. So I thought to myself, from the age of 14, I already knew that my plan is to leave at 18, because I would pray to God and I'd be like, God, please just help him to be a better person, try and at least get to know us. My dad is just such a Hitler. He's yes, no, you can't even converse with him. I don't think he even knows me. He assumes the type of person I am, but he doesn't really know me, you know. So I used to think to myself, like, I got to a point when I was in my teens, I didn't even talk to him. I would just give him the report card, ask for money when I needed to, ask for whatever. Like, it was just like things that I needed from him that I would go to him for, because it was like, what's the point of conversing with you? You're just so negative, you know. And yes, I cannot criticize that he was there. He played his role. Took us to the best schools, you know, and he was actually there, because you know how us as black people are, the fathers are usually not present, and I'm very grateful he stepped in, because hey, nobody's going to treat your kids better than you would. Yeah. So yeah, but I feel like now that I played back as I'm older, I feel like he really took time to accept responsibility after my mom passed away, because he thought he could rely on like certain people, you know. He wanted to give us to certain people and then maybe pay them, you know. So okay, the abuse was physical and verbal, and I really would communicate with my friends at school. I mean, with my friend, I think 2 of them, I just couldn't keep it in, because he was too strict. Like, he didn't want us wearing braids, he didn't want us wearing makeup, and I understood that, but I felt like at a certain stage you should be able to wear those things. He like would literally come with us to the shops and be like, okay, is that what you're gonna buy? Okay, go fit it so that I can see how it looks. And then he's like, no, not that shape, it's too tight. And I'm like, I'm not a boy, bro. Like, what the hell? Like, I am a Bratz doll. I need to express this. And so, like, I remember at home sometimes, like, he would take us to my grand's house, and then I hated it there. But now that I'm older, I'm like, okay, maybe he just wanted to have some time with his lady. And then when we'd come home, I'd find like mascara and lipstick, and I remember I found a brown one, and I stole it, bro. And then he saw that I was using it, and he took it from me. Yo, guys, I felt like I lived in a world where they told me at home, like, where I confessed I was gay, and then they were like, no, you can't be gay. Like, what do you mean? I'm a Bratz doll. I need to have lipstick. I need to have lashes in my life. I don't need to have it every day, but like when I feel like expressing myself, I should. Like, no one should tell me not to. Do you understand? So I low-key understand how gay people feel, but guys, my dad was too strict. And during the high school stage, like, it was so annoying, because it's like, you can see how other people are dressed and how people express themselves, and you're like, you know, I could do this too and do it even better, but like my parent is restricting me, you know. That is another thing I hated about him. So physical abuse thing, like sometimes I'd have to go to school and I have bruises, bro, and like I'd have to like make excuses and create stories, but like my friends knew. There was even a time when I decided that, okay, cool, you know what, my dad doesn't want me to express myself and like do braids, you know, because that's the least I asked of him, like a weave or, you know, anything with the silky hair he thought would probably, you know, make you seem older or like mature, and he didn't probably want the attention it brought with, you know. Now that I'm older, that's what I'm thinking, because, you know, as you grow, you get wiser, yeah, boy? So I understood that, but like, why not braids, yeah, boy? So I was like so tired of this. I was like, okay, I'm gonna save money. Every time he gives me money, I'm gonna save. And keep in mind, you guys, like my dad, I noticed, was apparently someone who was a little bit well off compared to like my friends. So what I noticed though was that even though I had like the best lunchbox, by the way, my dad was the best cook. Yeah, as much as I can, he has his negative sides, he's got his good side too. He was a great cook. So I had the best lunchbox. I even sold my bread for £2 because of how amazing it was. No lies, guys. I had 6 slices, so I was good for the whole day. kudos to my dad. So yeah, so I saved money. I think that's why he probably didn't give me a lot of money, because my friends, I noticed they had a lot of, they'd carry like 50 rand to school, 20 rand, like 30 rand, like a lot of money. And my dad would just give me a 5 rand coin, and I had lunchbox, and I was like so annoyed. But then I saved that. So my point is that imagine how long I took to save this money to do my hair, yeah, well? So I did my hair, and yo, he's such a man, because for like 2 days I was home, and he didn't notice that I did my hair. Like I didn't braid it, I fleched it. What is uflecha nankosi yami ngesilungu? Yeah, I fleched it. I'll Google it when I edit this, I guess. But yeah, I did that, and it was 80 rand. So how many 5 rands are those? You can assume how many weeks, how many days it took for me to save that money, and how many opportunities I missed at the tuck shop. Like, what the hell? Hey, ndayenza inhloko, guys, and I look so nice. Like, yo, it was such a very neat like hairstyle. And I remember my dad didn't notice for about 2 days. I don't know if my aunt told him or he noticed, because one day I was making coffee for him, and then he's like, what's that on your head? I'm like, I'm a flech. Then he's like, hey bro, when did you do that? Then I'm like, about a few days ago. And then I tell him I saved money to do them. And then he gets pissed. He's like, take them off now. Yo, my heart. Yo. I remember going to school the next day, and my friend was like, your dad is an asshole, bro. I'm sorry to say. I was like, okay, no, I didn't do that at that time, but now I'm like, don't call my dad an asshole. But I think I agreed with her. I was like, yo, he is, because my hair was 2 days fresh, and then he said I must take it off. So everyone at school was like looking at me like I'm crazy. Why would you like have your braid, your maflecha done, and then like have it fresh, and then you just remove it? Like, why would you untie it, untangle it, whatever it is, guys? You know what I mean? It's long. It just left the building. So like people were asking me, why would you do that? And I had to come up with an excuse, but my friend knew. So that's one of the excuses that I had to create because of my dad. And I just thought to myself, I cannot be who I envision myself if I stay here. And I thought to myself, nah, at 18, I'm going. At 14, I made this decision. Because I would always pray, I'm like, God, please help my dad to just be a better person, to just not be negative, to see us as like his treasure, his investment, something to like, not like, you know, kids can be annoying. And I think if you see the beauty in them, maybe like how my mother was, because my mother was such a mom, she was like a real life angel. And I just wished my dad saw us like that, like instead of just thinking you must pay the school fees and clothes and just say yes, no. I just wanted a relationship. Like, I really wanted even advice about boys. I didn't want to be secretive about it. But yeah, that wasn't it. And like, I hated the fact that the physical abuse, it was so bad, guys. And like, I remember like the blood, I remember being punched, you know, I remember being kicked, I remember all those things. And you know, being told that, yo, you'll never amount to anything, and anything you say is stupid or dumb. And it's like, at some point those words just got in here and was like, because bro, I'm the one. I'm top 2 when I'm not 2 when it's not you. That's probably why you're saying those things, because he grew up in the apartheid era anyways. So imagine how men felt. I know how women felt, but imagine how men felt, like, to just, you know. So he doesn't see the world like I do, and I think he doesn't even see the vision. He doesn't you have a real life glass doll as a daughter, and you're sleeping on it. You're limiting it. You're restricting it. I might be the best for Dumo. You thinking makeup is bad, Candy? It might be the reason. I fly, but I really hated that, and it got to a point where I would even think to myself, no, let me just not do that, let me just hope things will be better. And what made it official for me was when the physical abuse got to a point where I was unconscious, and the next day I was going to write an exam and I needed to study. So by the time I woke up, it was very late, and I woke up at 4:30 a.m. to catch a bus at 6, I think, if not 6:15, because there are multiple buses to go to my school. At that point, he decided that we should also try taking public transport to experience the world, and it was traumatic. But yeah, that's a story for another day. But that's when I decided, nah, bro, when I'm 18, I'm dusting, I'm becoming dust here, I'm leaving. And I told my sister, and my sister was a little hesitant. She was like, nah, bro. Then I thought to myself, I went up, so I'm gone, I cannot be who I know and envision myself as if I stay here, And the physical abuse was something else. So yeah, but care. I continue to talk about the fact that when I turned 18, to my sister, and then eventually she was on board, because she also got the physical and verbal abuse, So yeah, bro, I was waiting and thinking to myself, every time something would happen, I'd be like, I'm 16. I can't wait. And luckily, I was able to get what my mother left off for me, and I was able to live off of that when I did leave, and I didn't depend on anyone, thank God, And yeah, life had its ups and downs, and yeah, I think that's a story for another day, I guess. But yeah, guys, that's my story of me leaving and why I left at 18 and I'm not turning back. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed my story. If you have anything you'd like to say, please do comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see me again. And yeah,